Well, hi, it's Mike Woods here at the Property Expert Partnership. Welcome to this latest video. Those who've seen my earlier videos will remember we recently bought this cottage here, this 150-year-old Welsh stone cottage, and we refurbished it top to bottom for our holiday let. And it came with a parcel of land to the side with outline planning permission, and we've started the development of that. So I'll take you over to the plot now and show you what we've done. So those who've seen the previous videos will have seen that we the first video was where I came to the site and I set out the site in terms of where we're going to be undertaking what's called the reduced dig, the excavated levels. So I marked it out with a dumpy level, so then the machine came along and excavated. Then once we've excavated to reduced level, we then set out our foundation dig. That went ahead, and then one of the other videos I provided showed you how we literally marked it all out, and then we brought the concrete in and we pumped it in from the roadside over here because it's too far for us to shoot it off a concrete machine. And then once that concrete went off, I then came back and we set out on the concrete the setting out for the bricklayer to put the substructure blockwork in, the dead works as we call it. Now that's all been done, and here it is all behind us. So what we've got is we have the concrete. We've then built up our blockwork. Now our DPC or slab level we've predetermined, and we predetermined that off this manhole cover here. And this is what we use, and we call this a temporary benchmark, a TBM. So we're always working back to this level. So we used this level to start with. We then come up 2 courses of block out of the ground, which is the lower block that you can see there. And the other block is our third block. So a total of 675 millimeters, so 675 off concrete. That is now our slab and DPC level. Now I say slab, even though we have a concrete slab in here. Slab being finished floor level. Okay, well you say slab level, but it's finished floor. And the reason why I have a recessed slab here is because I'm going to be putting the insulation on top of the slab, and on top of the insulation I will then be putting a 75 millimeter screed, and within that screed I'm going to be laying my underfloor heating. So that's the way I've decided to go on this. So I've got a little bit of a thing about radiators around the room, and from my experience I've done a number of house builds where I've used underfloor heating. For a bungalow like this, it's massively thermally efficient, where you use the thermal store of the concrete, you pump hot water through the pipes within, and then you've got heat all day. You put the heating on at 6 o'clock in the morning and you've got heat all day. So I love the underfloor heating element, and that's what I did when I built my own house back in 2005. So what we've got here, just to show you, is underneath this concrete we've got hardcore. So we've built the blockwork up, we've built it up with hardcore, so minus 100 millimeters for the concrete. And then on top of the hardcore, we've laid this membrane here. Now this is called a DPM. This is 1200 gauge, 1200 gauge plastic. This is what we are required to put in, and that is laid between the hardcore and the concrete. We simply pour the concrete on. Now the weight of the concrete then literally pushes this plastic tight up against the wall, and then you can see what we've done over here. This this plastic here, this is wrapped here around this blockwork. This is an intermediate blockwork wall. This is wrapped, and on top of this, before we put our next layer, we'll put what we call a DPC, a damp-proof course. So we've got DPM, damp-proof membrane, and on top of that, damp-proof course, which is a layer of plastic, which we'll use. So we've got our perimeter walls. Now, what we're going to be doing here is our trusses, our roof trusses, will span front wall to rear wall. So we have what's called wall plate to wall plate. Now, because each of these walls, from this front wall and the rear wall, is 11 meters, that's too long as a single wall. So we have to put intermediate walls in, and because we're using a timber frame here, next week we'll be building a timber frame here. These walls are called racking walls. They give intermediate support for the long length of wall there. So they give lateral, they're called lateral restraining walls, and give lateral support to that long wall. So what we're going to have here, we're going to have the kitchen in that location looking at the small garden that we've got. We have a bedroom. This is our hallway here, which will lead straight to our bathroom. In this corner here, we will have another bedroom. And where I'm standing here, this is going to be the lounge. So I designed this bungalow, and I've built one very similar to this about 8 years ago, and it works very well. So lounge in that front corner, so anybody who arrives in this driveway that we've got here, which is going to be a sort of shared driveway between the cottage and the bungalow, anybody arrives there, anybody sitting in the lounge, got a window facing that way and a window that way, so they'll be able to see who's arriving. Down the corridor into that bedroom there, down the corridor into the bathroom here, and then from that corridor across into the kitchen. So what we had to do when we put the kitchen in, and knowing that this where that pipe is there, knowing where our sink is going to go, we have brought in a pipe there which is going to be where we're going to rise our rising water main. So we're going to bring our water main in at that point. Now a water main has got to be at least 650 millimeters deep in the ground to avoid frost damage. So that pipe there goes through the groundworks and out the other side. So when we come to bring our water in, which is the other side of the fence there, or rather the hedge, into the pavement, we'll bring a pipe along here, excavate this chipping area here, and bring the water main in. We'll put our stopcock in there underneath the kitchen. That round gully there, that's the pickup. That's our gully to pick up the waste from the kitchen sink. That gully there, I'll take you round. This gully here is going to go and exit in a pipe that we've laid already under the ground here to this small chamber here. We turn 90 degrees, we run down underneath the chip-ins here to the next one where we pick up the foul drain from the waste of the bathroom, which connects through back to our manhole, which I showed you previously there, which is our benchmark. So that's it, that's as far as we've got at the moment. I'm really excited about this because I just love doing this. New build is so very straightforward and easy, it's clean. And some of you saw in the other videos, you could see the excavation and the arisings, the excavations, and whilst I didn't admit it at the time, I hate that because the site is just a mess and I just have to just bear it. And well, a builder once told me, Mike, you've got to break a few eggs to make an omelette. So I always bear that thought in mind, because at the end of the day, when you're on a building site in the dirt and the mud, it can get quite messy. But now we're here, we're nice and clean. We've got the hardcore laid and whacked. This is going to be an area where we put some scaffold in, and our timber frame will be going up next week, and then we'll have our roof trusses on, and then we're away to go. So I'll do another video for you shortly of the progress, but just as always, if there's any comments, any questions, by all means fire away and ask away. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll speak to you again soon. So it's Mike Woods, Property Expert Partnership. Bye bye.